Alright, so we shall begin right now. Just want to see if everything's going to be working out. Let's see. I see so far this has officially opened. Alright, hold on. First I need to see so far. Alright, people can hear me. So Twitch should be pretty much good. And I think, wow, everybody's already excited and ready to be here. So, I guess we might as well get things started. So, greetings and welcome everybody to another wonderful episode. Wow, I don't think I phrased that correctly. Alright, let me try that again. Greetings and welcome everybody to the latest episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Well, first of all, I want to know, how is everybody doing in the chat wall? I see that even before I got started, before I turned on this little stream right over here, people are already taking their seats and already chatting going on. Like, they already got the chat wall preparing. So, how are you guys doing right now? Alright, yes, as for me, well, I'm doing a little bit well. So far I've had a really nice week, but I will admit that I do have a pretty bad back because I kind of messed up in one exercise I did at the gym, but I'll fix that up a little later. But so far, things have been going pretty well for me. But what I want to know is actually regarding you guys. How are you doing? So, oh, I see we got some newcomers. Welcome, welcome. You are good. You would have made it for the first stream, but bad Wi-Fi caused it to miss it. Okay. Well, at least you're here, so... Alright, so yeah, I see everybody's doing well, everybody's been doing great. Alright, that sounds pretty nice. Now, before I do go and, by the way, yes, my videos have been doing very well. I just released the new channel trailer, which a lot of people seem to really love, and also released a fun little top 5 with the Shrek memes. Alright, but anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that before I get things started with the podcast itself, before I begin with the Crazy Cartoon Cast, I got a crazy story to tell you guys because something just happened, which is honestly a bit insane. Because here's the thing. Alright, so for those of you who watch my videos or you know what I do, then you do know that the AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, it all came to be because I decided to quit Filmbook. I decided to no longer collaborate with them. I decided to move on from them. And what I used to do there is stuff like the animation podcast and all that kind of stuff. So I decided to move on from all that and just go in my own ways. Well, let me just say that when it comes to Filmbook, they're not handling that well. It pretty much does feel a little bit like a breakup because they are still trying to convince me. I was like, oh, can you please come back? We'll try to work things out and all that kind of crazy stuff. But just about an hour ago, I kid you not, this came in the mail. As you can see, I legit got this big freaking fruit basket from Filmbook, and I know it's from them because it also contains a little message. It says, "Forgive us, give our collaboration a second chance, Filmbook." I'm not joking. Filmbook sent me this as a way of saying that they're sorry. I am dead serious when I say that I'm going through a bad breakup. Like, I'm at the point where I've moved on. I'm trying to do my own things, but holy crap, they're still not giving up. And they legit sent me this. Like, what the fridge? This is just crazy. It really is. Wow. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know if this is either hilarious or this is sad. Like, the fact that Filmbook would go as far and even send me this giant fruit basket right over here. Like, wow. Like, holy crap. I'm still flabbergasted by the fact that this happened. And it's just like the doorbell rang a little bit like that. Well, that's technically the phone, but... Like, the doorbell rang, I opened it up, I was like, well, what the fridge is this? And it's like, I thought it was someone else, but it was for me. They said it was like, Monsieur Mathieu Brunet, est-ce que tu peux écrire ici? And I was there like, okay, sure. Like, what the frick is this? Like, who sent me this? And I found out it's like his film book. I was like, oh my god. It really is crazy, man. It's just, I figured might as well start this off by sharing this. And I know that afterwards, like, I gotta go and, honestly, I gotta go and send it back to the, not send it back, but, like, just put it in the fridge. You know, it's not really something that I can return and just refuse the offer. It's like, I got it now, so, like, now what, you know? And fun fact, even before this, they even tried to send me, like, $100 to say, I'm sorry. No joke. So, yeah, I don't think Filmbook is doing well with this little breakup right over here. Okay, anyways, with all that said and done, are you guys ready for another crazy round of animation stories we got right over here? So, just want to see, so, chat wall, are you guys ready with, today's crazy episode? Just want to see right over here if we got, any reactions. Yes, oh, we got some yes, alright. Yeah, alright, that's what I like to hear. Yes, indeed, I'm an all-star. Get my game on, go play. Alright, anyways. Let's go ahead and begin right over here with our first story, and I might as well start things off with the big announcement that is coming from Netflix, because of course Netflix has a lot of great big movies and a lot of big shows that are going to be coming up. Yes, they sent me $100, but I did not accept. I'm just letting you know. So yeah, I'm starting off with one big Netflix show, and there's one in particular that has pretty much been highly anticipated considering that it is coming from one of the biggest animated series creators of our time, which is Matt Groening. Yes, we are officially getting our first look at Disenchantment, if this thing can go down. Hold on, wait for it, on my command. There we go. Okay, Disenchantment. Yes, using my source here in Deadline, Netflix has announced this week our more detailed look into the next animated series from Matt Groening, which is Disenchantment. And if you want to know a little bit more about what this story is about, so I'm just going to read a little bit from my source here. Alright, so I'm gonna start off, I'm gonna start off right over here. So, they also opened the drawbridge to give us a look at the Disenchantment crew, which includes the hard-drinking Princess Bean, her feisty elf companion Elfo, and as well as her personal demon Lucy. Set in the crumbling medieval kingdom of Dreamland, Disenchantment follows the misadventures of Bean and the gang, which are voiced by a notable cast of comedic actors. Broad City's Abby Jacobson lends her voice to Bean, while Nat Faxon and Eric Andre voice Elfo and Lucy respectively. The series has the oddball trio Will encountering ogres, sprites, harpies, imps, trolls, walruses, and a lot of human fools. Now, one major thing to also add regarding this is there's also another big cast of notable voice actors, in which in this one they are also bringing in John DiMaggio, Billy West, Maurice LaMarche, Tress MacNeille, David Herman, Matt Berry, Jenny Batten, Rich Fulcher, Noel Fielding, and Lucy Montgomery. And also, as you can see right over here, we also have a group of pictures showing our first ever look into what is going on in Disenchantment, or what it's going to look like. So we see the pissed off Bean right over here, and you got Elfo ready to shank a guy, and then you got also this, which is like a little bit of a Kingdom Hearts style, just hanging out on top of the tower and just sharing some drinks and stuff. Then you also got a more action-oriented little picture here, where you see a bunch of trees closing in on Bean, Elfo, and Lucy. And then you got another action-packed picture here, where, like, they're all ready for battle. So, for me, what's going on in here Honestly, with my first impressions and my first look here, I am a little bit mixed. I am just a little bit iffy with what's going on in this series. Now, I did hear, of course, that coming soon we are going to get a trailer to see like our first legit full look into Disenchantment, and yes, when that will come, I will be talking about it in a future episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, but for now, we're just going to look into the pictures right over here, and just going to discuss about how I feel about it. So, honestly, with my first impressions, I am a little bit iffy, and the big thing for me is actually regarding the princess, Princess Bean, because one look at her, and I'm not sure if this would be something that I would completely be down to. Now, I know there are a lot of criticisms that some people don't necessarily like the way that Princess Bean looks. It's like, oh, she's not that pretty as a princess. That's not my issue here. My biggest thing is that I first look at this like drunken, pissed off princess, and I pretty much think this is a human female bender. Like, for me, my biggest issue with looking at these pictures is that I get the feeling that we are seeing, like, a little bit of copy-pasting from previous Matt Groening shows. It's a little bit like what Seth MacFarlane gets criticism for with his shows, like with Family Guy, American Dad, and The Cleveland Show, and all that kind of stuff, where Seth MacFarlane kind of has this format or this template where he would copy and paste the type of characters that they would have. And I see a little bit with what Matt Groening is doing here as well, at least with the main characters, where like Bean doesn't seem that much different than characters like Homer or with Bender. And then like you got Elfo right over here, which, I mean, there's no mistaking. Does that not look like Bart to you guys? I mean, seriously, like, you got the shirt that looks the same. You got the shorts that are pretty much the same. The only difference is that, really, the dude is just green, and, like, he kind of has, like, a squiggly line on his front lip, on his top lip. And that's pretty much it. That, and also, he has a hat. But, yeah, you could tell he's kind of like Bart. And I got a feeling that it's either Elfo or Lucy. They're, like, either one, they're going to have that mischievous attitude that Bart has. So that's honestly my biggest concern with this is just the fact that they're going to be copying the Simpsons formula with this show. If it's just going to end up being a little bit similar to what we already have with previous Matt Groening shows like The Simpsons and Futurama. However, this is not to say that this show is going to suck. I just wanted to get my concerns and my criticisms out of the way, because when I look at this, and when I hear that Matt Groening is going to get a brand new series, there is a part of me that is pretty optimistic about this, because, you know, we're getting something new from Matt Groening. We're getting something new, something fresh, something original coming from the guy that has brought us possibly the most successful scripted television series of all time. And not too long ago, it actually did break the record for the longest running scripted television series. So, you know, having him on board, I could see this being a clever series. I could see this being something hilarious and enjoyable, especially the fact that we do have, this great list of comedic actors in there. Like, we got we got Eric Andre, we got Abby Jacobson, we got John DiMaggio, Billy West, Maurice LaMarche, Tress MacNeille, and all those people. These are voice actors and these are comedians that really know their craft. Like, they know comedy. So this is going to be something that actually can turn out well. And that's honestly the two sides that I see from Disenchantment. It's either we are going to get like kind of this recycled material kind of thing. Like, this is just a cheap copy-paste Matt Groening series that people might get a little tired quickly on it. That, or we could get another great big series on Netflix. Like, this could be the next BoJack Horseman or something like that. Like, this could be the new big adult animated series. It'll just take some time regarding what we might possibly get with this. So that's honestly my thoughts on Disenchantment and the possibilities if it's going to turn out well or if it might not turn out to be good. So with that said, I do want to know a little bit from you guys. So I'm going to go on the chat wall right now and ask, what do you think about Disenchantment? Are you guys more excited about it, or are you a little more concerned regarding if this is going to be just another copy-paste series from from The Simpsons, like a copy-paste of The Simpsons or stuff like that? Woo, we got a new subscriber. Welcome. Anyway, so let me know. What do you guys think about Disenchantment so far from the pictures that we've seen and a little bit of the description? All right, let's see. Or are you getting a lot? Okay, we see it doesn't look that bad. It's just a matter if it will be different from the other shows he made. Yep, that is definitely true. That is true. Any others? Any other comments that we can have? It looks like a Disney parody. It could. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some episodes if they could actually parody The Simpsons, if they could do some Disney parodies. Like it did open up the door to that. I'm mixed. It looks interesting, but the character design is eh. Well, okay. Well, the character design, I mean, that shouldn't be a big surprise because this is a Matt Groening series and he does have that distinct style that we did see from like The Simpsons and Futurama. So, I mean, considering that it is from Matt Groening, the character design is meant to emphasize that this is his work. But if you're not all into the character design, I mean, I don't necessarily blame you. I mean, with all the years that we've seen, like, The Simpsons and Futurama, like, yeah, it can seem tiring that we do see something looking like this, and it's just like, I don't know. The show looks more serious than a comedy. Well, I mean, like, okay, honestly, like, this picture right over here, this does say, like, this could be more of a comedy. Maybe the rest of them, I mean, like, it does look a little more serious when you see pictures like this and when you see pictures like this or just even this. But this one says more like this could be more comedy influence. So, yeah, I do get what you mean by that front right over there. Bruh. Let's see. Exactly. The elf kind of bugs me. Yeah. Yeah, like with the elf. Yeah, well, yeah, we might as well, like, I know his name is Elfo, but I might as well call him Green Bart because that's what he looks like so far. It's just Green Bart. Oh boy, we got a big one right over here. I imagine that the character dynamics would be different, even if some of the personalities would be borrowed from other shows. Also, the Black Gremlin the Black Gremlin is probably the most unique Matt Groening character design in the show so far. That I do agree with you, because like all of the others, they look like something straight from The Simpsons or Futurama, but this is, admittedly, this is something that I will admit looks a lot more unique. It looks a lot more interesting, especially when you can only see his side profile. Like, I'll give them credit that, like, Lucy does look like the most interesting character in here. So I think, it's Bender, Bart Simpson, and the original character, and an original character in a fantasy setting. Yeah, that's basically what we got right over here. So I think with all that said, I think we'll get a better judgment regarding how this show is going to be when the trailer comes out. But for me right now, overall, it's just, I only see two sides of this. It's either we're going to get a tired copy-paste Matt Groening series, or this could actually turn out really well. But for now, I'm still in a wait-and-see attitude. Like, for now, like, if it does, like, when it does get released, I would pretty much just wait on it, see how people are going to react, and then judge if I'm going to go check it out. Because it's stated that it's going to be on August 17th. They are going to be releasing the 10 episodes they're going to release all the 10 episodes on Netflix. By the way, no co-commenter this week. Yes, by the way, I'm honestly sorry, but I forgot to mention this. I am experimenting a little bit this week. I want to try to see how I can run the show on my own. I did mention before that I'm not always going to get a special guest here, but I'm just, honestly, the Crazy Cartoon Cast is still new, so I am still testing the waters to see if, if I can manage this on my own, if I can still, run the show if this is just me. So, with all that said and done, let's go ahead and discuss about our next story that we have. And it's going to be regarding the apocalypse. Yes, the end of the world is actually going to be coming soon because apparently all the machines that we love and that we use in our regular daily basis is going to be turning against us. And soon we will have to rebel against the machines. So at that point, we have to figure out what to do. What can we do in order to save ourselves? Does anybody have a plan? Well, honestly, someone does have a plan, because far in the distance we would hear, "I got an idea!" And then we would look on the side and go, "Oh no. Oh no. Anyone but him." Yes, because out of all the people who has a plan, apparently, it's Sony. They have a plan on what's going on. And yes, Sony Pictures Animation has announced a brand new animated film, which is going to be called The Mitchells versus the Machines. So this is a brand new animated feature that Sony Animation has planned for early 2020. And honestly, with this one, the only thing that is really significant that they would mention about this project in particular is the fact that Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the same guys right now that are really hot in Hollywood, and they have brought us movies such as the Lego Movie and the 21 Jump Street films, they are going to be the producers. In fact, before all this, before the announcement, that's the only way that Sony Pictures could label this. They literally just called this the Untitled Phil Lord and Chris Miller animated movie. Or no, the Phil Lord and Chris Miller produced Sony Animation movie. So with all that said, let's go ahead and read a little bit of what this is going to be about. So it says here that the Mitchells are a dysfunctional yet loving family whose road trip gets interrupted by a tech uprising. All around the world, devices we love like phones and self-driving cars turn on humanity, and the Mitchells have to work past their problems to save the world. So from there is no other information that we fully know about it. It's just regarding the plot, the release date, the fact that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to be producing this, and we do have information regarding the writer and the director, which is going to be the what am I trying to look for? Oh yes, the directorial debut of Mike Rianda, which he's going to be directing, and he actually co-wrote the script with Jeff Rowe, which he is also going to be a co-director. So, with all that said, that's all the information that we really know about this, is the fact that Sony Animation has announced The Mitchells versus the Machines, and it's going to have a early 2020 release date. We know the directors, and we know that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to be involved in this somehow. Now, I'm just going to start this off by saying that with my first impression regarding this, regarding like what they've presented to us, what this is going to be about, yeah, I think there's no surprise to say that I really am underwhelmed by this, because I'm going to be very honest, looking into this, I mean, let's be honest, guys. How many times have we heard the story of man versus machine? Because honestly, it's been going all over the place, and we've heard that so many times in so many different films. We've heard it in so many different TV shows. Like, there are so many episodes that are revolving around, like, man versus machine. I'm even starting to see commercials, freaking commercials, actually using this man versus machine plot. Honestly, with this one, the only difference that I'm seeing here is just that this is going to be a film for kids. Like, that's the only difference, is that they're telling this story that's going to be geared more for families and for kids, and they're gonna make like this goofy, oddball family comedy that's going to be animated and all that kind of stuff. So really, the plot itself isn't really selling me on this one. And also, I just want to mention regarding about. Oh, actually, no. First thing I want to mention is actually going to be regarding the factor about Phil Lord and Chris Miller being producers. Now, that is one thing that a lot of people are mentioning about this. Like, that's the only way that people recognize this project, is more the fact that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to be producing the project. And that's the only thing that they got behind it. The only reason why anybody would have any expectations or anticipations regarding this project. And honestly, I look at this, and that doesn't really give me any help for it as well, because for me, I look at this, and I think, well, with Phil Lord and Chris Miller, to be honest, they really, the problem is just that, really, Phil Lord and Chris Miller are just producing it. They're not directing this film. They're not really gonna be doing another Lego movie with this thing right over here. They're just producing it. And they have produced a lot of films, and I'm just saying, they don't necessarily have the Midas touch. Just because Phil Lord and Chris Miller have a producing credit doesn't mean it's going to turn out all that great. So I'm just saying. But then let's go ahead and take a look at who is going to be involved in the creative side of this, specifically with Mike Rianda and Jeff Rowe. Now, like I mentioned before, Mike Rianda is having his directorial debut. And when I look into his credit, there is one project in particular that does seem exciting that he actually did work on, and that is Gravity Falls. He actually worked on several different roles. He actually wrote a few episodes. He was a creative director, and he was also a creative consultant. And he actually did a few voices, where he actually did the voice of a couple of Wendy's friends with Lee and Thompson. So from there, it does sound pretty exciting that they did get someone from Gravity Falls into this project. Now, if you guys may know, I've seen Gravity Falls. I love the series. I reviewed it. I legit even gave it a 10 out of 10. That sounds, honestly, I actually do believe that it's one of the best series that I've ever seen, and also one of the best animated series of the decade. So it does sound promising that Sony would actually go and get a Gravity Falls person. But then there is something in here regarding Mike Rianda's credits where I really am iffy. Now, let's take a look at his IMDb page, and you'll notice, like, he's done some Gravity Falls stuff, and that's pretty much it. That's the problem here. That's honestly my big issue, is just the fact that all he worked on Gravity Falls. He did a few, considering that, Everybody Dies in 90 Seconds and Work, they came in 2008 and 2010, those are most likely, student shorts. Honestly, this brings me a lot of honestly, now I'm honestly a bit worried, because, yeah, he did Gravity Falls, but technically, that's the only the only major studio project that he has ever worked on. Is that, okay, yeah, it's nice that he worked on such an acclaimed animated series like Gravity Falls, but this guy has no experience after that. He never even worked on a big feature film. Honestly, that's just his biggest credit. It's just Gravity Falls. And then when you look at Jeff Rowe, it's even worse, because it's literally just Gravity Falls that he worked on. The most that he did is just, he wrote a few episodes, and that's pretty much it. And then Sony decided, hey, this might be a good idea to just bring these two guys in that only worked on Gravity Falls and give them such a huge responsibility to work on a feature film, to trust them with a big project. I mean, that's a massive jump right over there. I mean, this is just crazy, to be very honest. The fact that they would trust them despite their lack of experience. I mean, yeah, I love Gravity Falls, but is that really enough the fact that they've only worked on some episodes to really trust them to create this major motion picture, this big animated film. And there is one thing that I will mention, though, that it really makes me not excited for this movie, to be honest. Because there's honestly one particular factor that, honestly, I look at this and I feel immediately turned off, and I know that there's probably a very good chance that this is going to be bad. And no, it's not the factor that this is from Sony Pictures Animation, before anybody comments on that. I know some people are really... Yeah, some people... Yeah, there you go. Somebody already wrote that. It's like, it's because you hate Sony Animation! No, it's not because of that. It's mainly because of the release date. January 10th, 2020. For me, that is a major sign that if there is anybody here that has the least amount of faith in this project, it's Sony Animation. And I will tell you why. Now, it is true that originally this was supposed to be released somewhere in February of 2020. But then Sony, not too long ago, they decided, hey, we're going to go and make a Peter Rabbit 2. So they decided to put Peter Rabbit 2 in 2020 and move this project up to January 10th. Now, I know that, I already see that some people are saying that, well, because of the fact that it's going to be released in January, it's going to suck. And yeah, we do see that there is going to be this, there is a bit of a pattern that when animated films are released in January, that means they suck. And some of the worst animated films have even been released in January. Like, we've seen The Nut Job, we've seen Strange Magic, and then, of course, there was Norm of the North. So those movies were released in January, and these ones are just god-frickin' awful, to be very honest. So yeah, there is that. So basically the combination that an animated film is being released in January, and also the fact that it's Sony Pictures Animation, yeah, that's not a good sign. But there's also the factor it's January 10th. And that date specifically right over there, that really does say a lot that Sony Animation does not have faith in there whatsoever. Because you gotta keep in the frame of what's going on in January 10th. Because here's the thing. On January 10th, that is the big signal right over... Oh, wait. Oh, okay, well... Alright, okay, that is actually a good counter-argument that technically in January, we did also get, like, the Paddington movies and Kung Fu Panda 3. Yes, that is definitely true. Okay, I'll give you credit on that. But even at that, like, Kung Fu Panda 3 was released, like, right at the end of January. It was close. Like, it would be really close to count, like, as a February movie. But as I was saying, the thing with January 10th, you gotta keep in mind, when you look into January 10th, that's the time when the holidays are officially over. Everybody celebrated their holidays like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and all that kind of stuff. And everybody celebrated their New Year's. And then right afterwards, that's when the holidays are done and things are back to normal. When kids are going back to school and adults are going back to work. So from there... Whoa, excuse me, that's my lunch coming back for revenge. Oh boy, wow, my stomach is really having a stomach versus food right over here. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Now, at that point, the holidays are over, everybody celebrated what they celebrated, and from there, everybody's back to school, everybody's back to work, so really, they're pretty much trying to go and try to readjust their mindset to get things back to normal. Like, you know, to take their holiday mode aside and go back to, like, what they're focusing on with work or with school. And it's not just that either. It's not just the fact that the holidays are done, but you also got to keep in mind about the holiday movies in 2019, like right at the end of 2019. There are going to be some major feature films that are going to be released at that time. Like, when you think about it, the thing is, at the end of 2019, we are going to get movies such as, we're going to get, Star Wars Episode 9, that's going to be a big one, and Sony, actually, they're going to release a Jumanji 2. And if that film is as big as the new Jumanji film that we just got not too long ago, then honestly, it's pretty much hopeless for the Mitchells versus the Machines. Like, Sony just put it on the side, almost as if they're hoping that nobody would notice. It's like they're sending us some dark signals right over here. So from there, honestly, I would say overall, with what Sony Animation has announced in here, I'm seriously having some serious doubts. Like, I could be wrong, though. This could actually turn out to be great. This could turn out to be the next big Sony Animation movie, and it could turn out to be a critical and financial success for them. But for me, I feel like, honestly, Sony just doesn't care. Like, we got some people that, we got some creators that, despite the fact that they did work on Gravity Falls, they don't have much other experience. You got a hopeless release date. You got an animation studio that doesn't have a good reputation. And honestly, you also got a concept and a plot that's not really that appealing. Like, you got to do a lot more than just that. So honestly, I'm having my doubts. So with all that said, let me go into the chat wall. Let me go into the chat wall right over here. What do you guys think so far of the Mitchells versus the Machines? Do you think you're going to be, are you going to be excited for this? Do you think there's any hope for this? Or do you not think that there's going to be much hope? Do you think the Mitchells versus the Machines can have potential? Well, what do you guys think? Just tell me right over here. What did I miss? Yeah, quite a bit. Don't worry. At least like it'll go like at least it'll be in audio and on YouTube in the future. So don't worry right now. Yep. Who cares? Okay. Yep. Someone doesn't really care much about that. Let's see. Garbage, yeah, January, it's Garbage Awareness Month. January, basically, Garbage Month! Yep, okay, yeah, I hope to see it on YouTube soon. Well, maybe this podcast, but I just hope it's the 2D animated Sony film we've been dreaming of. Nah, I don't think Sony is ready to go and make a 2D film. Let's see. I think I'll give it a chance. Sony has potential if the Spider-Man animated film is a success. Yeah, like even at that, we'll have to wait and see. We have seen this plot so much. Phil Lord and Chris Miller can do a good work, but I don't know about this one. But you also got to keep in mind, they're just producers, and Sony will have more power over this film than Lord and Miller, so their producing credits doesn't really say much. Let's see. Coming from Sony, I'm not sure about it. Okay, so I can see there are some people that want to give it a chance, and some people they don't see much. Don't worry, Papa. Yeah, don't worry, Papa Mario. I will get on it. Don't worry. I'll see if hold on. I'll see if I can do something. Hold on. Is there anything? Yeah. Okay. Maybe this will help. Wait, can this help? Okay. There we go. Okay, hopefully this can help things out. Anyways, sorry about that. But yeah, okay. We can see so far that there's not a lot of potential, not a lot of hope for this little project that Sony has. Okay, so anyways, with all that said and done, let us now go and move on to our next story that we have here. Oh, wow. So just a little time out from that one user, and a lot of people seem to be pretty happy about it. Okay, didn't know about that. Okay, anyways, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and move on to our next story, in which we actually have a trailer, and this is a trailer that just recently got released. And this was a movie that honestly I was a little bit iffy about. I wasn't really sure regarding the plot. I wasn't really sure regarding with the potential that it could have, and I wasn't really sure if if I would be fully into it. But then I saw this new trailer that came out, and let me tell you, this one has a lot more promise than I expected. So with all that said and done, how about we take a little break, and here, I gotta remember to always go with this year. So let us take a little break and check out the new trailer for Disney's Christopher Robin. So let us begin this trailer in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, I do like a party.
Come on, Pooh.
What should happen if you forget about me?
Silly old bear. I won't
I
ever
will
forget
hunt
about
for
you, Pooh.
and I will
Not
find
even when I'm
you if you
100.
forget me.
We should be working this weekend, Robin.
But I promised my wife and daughter I'd take them away this weekend.
All hands on deck.
You won't be coming to the cottage.
Well, it can't be helped.
Your life is happening now, right in front of you.
What to do, what to do, what to do. What to do indeed.
I've come for your soul, Christopher Robin.
The tree I remember was in the countryside, not here in London. There's no opening.
I suppose it's where it needs to be.
That's a silly explanation.
Why, thank you.
Pooh, why are you here?
Oh, yes, I need your help. I've lost all of my friends.
Let's get to the bottom of this. Look up, Pooh. Here I come.
I can take
appear that
I
I'm
can take
stuck.
my time
Have
away
you
from
just
work
eaten
for
honey?
this.
I have not just eaten honey.
I wonder which way.
I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I have been.
Do you?
That's the way I do it.
Hello, Eeyore.
Christopher Robin, it's you played again.
Let's go and see if we can find Piglet.
I've already stayed far too long. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you all again.
Why, thank you.
Silly old bear. I was wrong about work. I was wrong about everything, and I've got to get back to my family.
Farewell, Christopher Robin. I would have liked it to go on for a while longer. Perhaps it's our turn to save Christopher. You must be Madeline.
Wait, you're the bear in my father's drawings.
Yes. Do you know where he is?
I do.
Let's bounce!
She seems pretty cool about it. Okay.
Look at him!
Digger! Eeyore! Piglet!
If anyone wants to clap, now is the time to do it.
Oh, bother.
Oh, dear, dear.
I don't remember being cheery.
People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day.
No, Pooh, that's not the... Oh, never mind.
I am lazy and I am proud. Okay, hold on. Here, I'll just put it in a more... Yeah, I'll just see if... Yeah, there we go. Okay, just put it right over here. So, that was the Christopher Robin trailer. And I just gotta say right now that, to be honest, I was honestly pretty impressed with what we got right over here. And I think the biggest thing that it really did emphasize well, the one thing that is pretty appealing and that it really nailed is honestly the charm of Winnie the Pooh. Like, basically, you see the heart and you see the charm of not the classic books, but well, maybe the classic books as well, but especially coming from the classic Disney cartoons. Like, you see the heart. Like, this is Winnie the Pooh that you see right over there, and that's basically the big theme that's gonna be happening. Wait, this film is rated PG for some action. When does Winnie the Pooh have action? I mean, okay, yeah, sure. Like, you got like the blustery day, but that, like, honestly, the biggest action you're gonna get is like the frickin' weather when it comes to Winnie the Pooh. But yeah, but anyways, going back into this with Christopher Robin, like, you can see that there is a lot of heart, and you see the charm of it coming from, yeah, I'm going to say a lot of heart and a lot of charm a lot, but you see a lot of like tender moments coming from Christopher Robin as he is reunited with many of his old friends. Like this is the first time that we are seeing the full cast of Winnie the Pooh. Before then, we only saw Pooh himself, but now we actually do see like Tigger, we see Piglet, we see Eeyore, we see Kanga, we see Roo, we see Rabbit, we see Owl. You know, we see all of them finally together and all reunited with Christopher Robin, and you see what is going on. you know, you do see a lot of the heart and you do see a lot of the fun. And I do see in the chat wall a lot of people have noticed one major thing, and that is actually regarding with Tigger. And yeah, this is the one thing that I will say that I was surprised and noticed as well, is the fact that, yeah, someone actually mentioned, yeah, originally it was Chris O'Dowd that's supposed to be Tigger, but apparently, like, it's either he did an amazing impression or they decided to let him go and decided to give Jim Cummings the voice of Tigger as well, because like that really does sound like the same Tigger that we've had in the past years, like with the 2011 Winnie the Pooh movie and all those Winnie the Pooh directed DVD sequels and all of that stuff. And yeah, I definitely do agree, Leslie. This is going to be a movie that will give us a lot of feels, because that's what they're aiming for with this movie, is that you do see, like, to get back with your inner childhood, to know what is the most important with your family and all that stuff, you know. Like, this is literally a movie that's all about going back into your childhood, rather it be with Christopher Robin or with how you feel going back to the 100 Acre Woods and see how all those characters are. However, there is one thing that I will say that is a big criticism that I'm not necessarily happy with this trailer. Now, and this is not necessarily regarding my thoughts on the movie itself, but this is more just on this trailer alone. But I don't know about you, but am I the only one that feels like we just saw the entire movie right now? Like, we just saw the whole freaking movie in one big shot. And it just told us the entire plot instantly, that now Christopher Robin is an adult. Like, he seems to be a lot more focused on work instead of his family, and he noticed this dilemma, and then suddenly he goes back to the 100 Acre Woods with Winnie the Pooh, where he would go and rescue his old friends, where we would re-meet, where we would go back with Tigger, with Eeyore, with Piglet, and all those guys. Oh god, there's my lunch again. Like, they would go back to them, and then Christopher Robin decided, okay, I'm gonna go back to my family. And now Winnie the Pooh and his gang, they decide to go back to the real world in order to go and help out Christopher Robin. Like, we just got the whole freaking movie right over here. Like, honestly, I don't know if I really need to go back and watch the film, because technically, we just saw the film. The only difference is that this one is like 2.5 minutes, and the movie itself is going to be like, what, 90 minutes or something like that? It's just like, we already got our fill of Winnie the Pooh. So, again, I'm just going to say right now, this is not necessarily the fault of the movie itself. This is mostly this is just a bad trailer right over here, where it just spoiled a little too much. But I will say, though, that I am really impressed with how they executed the tone. It does look very charming. And, you know, like, honestly, beforehand, I was doubtful, but I could see that they really, like, this could really nail the execution of it. As long as it does stay true to the heart of Winnie the Pooh, then I think this movie can still do pretty well. So that's honestly my thoughts on what we got with the trailer right over here. And do we have any comments? Let's go into the chat wall. Does anybody have any questions or any additional comments with what's going on in this Christopher Robin trailer? And I will say, though, there is, some people are already seeing their childhood coming back with this movie. Let's see now. Any other ones that are going on? Do we have any more? No. Yeah. Are you, hold on a sec. Does anybody miss trailer narrations? Well, I guess it depends on the style of trailers that they're going for, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has, is this CGI on the Winnie the Pooh characters better than the ones on the Beauty and the Beast remake? Honestly, that's actually a good thing you brought up right over here. Well, number one, yes, the trailer does look like the CGI, I could tell, it does look a whole lot more appealing than it does in the Beauty and the Beast remake. And that's one thing I would like to comment also, because beforehand, a lot of people seem to be, commenting and how they seem to be so freaked out over the fact that Winnie the Pooh looks so creepy. Like, you would look at Pooh, like, hold on, where would be, yeah, like, people would look at Pooh right over here, and they would get creeped out because, like, you got this, like, now you got a realistic Winnie the Pooh, like, as this living stuffed bear, and they would get just freaked out about it. I was like, oh, God. So, but then, honestly, like, once you look at all the other characters, they look really well done. Like, you see Eeyore, you know, like, you see Eeyore, you see Piglet, yeah, like, hold on. Yeah, like, you see, well, okay, yeah. Right over here, like, you see Piglet, and then you also see characters like, hold on, where would he be? Yeah, like, you see, Tigger. Like, he doesn't, like, they don't look that bad. Like, they do actually stay true. Hold on, like, let me just,
You must...
Yeah, like, you see, like, they do stay true to the original designs that Disney has made for these characters, and I really do appreciate that. They do look pretty nice. Oh, why are Owl and Rabbit not stuffed toys? Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Like, hold on, I'll go to the very beginning. Like, you see, yeah, it is true, like, when you look at characters like when you look at Rabbit, or if you look at Owl, they look a little realistic. They look a lot more realistic than you would with characters such as Kanga or Roo, or with Piglet or with Tigger. Like, maybe they are stuffed toys, but they're more like different stuffed toys, you know, like the more realistic kind that they would get. So that could be something. But honestly, with all that said, but overall, I would say I am actually really impressed with this trailer. The execution does show a lot more promise, but my only problem with this trailer is that they might have shown a little too much of it. So with all that said and done, this movie, I don't think it says the release date here, but I do believe, wait, it did say it did say that this movie is going to be released on August 3rd. So we will have to wait and see with how the trailer for this movie shall go. But with that said, I am pretty optimistic with how this one shall be. And if you can excuse me for a moment, I just need to get something real quick. I just gotta go and... Okay. Okay. Alright, hold on a sec. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, anyways, with all that said, now that we got this trailer done, how about we go and discuss about another trailer? Yes, the next story will be about another trailer, and this one is not necessarily going to be directly linked to an animated feature, but we did receive a movie that is very similar. So, with all that said, I think some people have already guessed it. Let us now go and check out our next trailer that we have, which is going to be with Mowgli. All right, we've already got the Jungle. We've already got the Jungle Book. So now, let us check out Mowgli. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Do we have it? Ah, there it is. All right, we got the bird.
I've heard stories about the jungle.
Witness the darkest telling.
Palace in a cage just like this.
I love how it has to emphasize it's like, we're gonna be dark and brutal.
And I scratched, and I spent my entire life fighting. Until one day, I just stopped. And I gained their trust. Gained their trust, little brother.
Now that part looks the most like the Jungle Book from 2016, honestly. I just want to mention that right now.
It'll be alright, little brother. When I found you, all those seasons ago,
I'll take care of you. Just calm down, kid. Seriously.
But I was wrong, Mowgli.
How you've grown.
You were was an outcast. This is a story of how Mowgli became a legend.
When you were a cub, I looked you in the eye and saw no fear. I believed that one day you would bring peace to the jungle. But you have become a man now, Mowgli.
I'm not a man. But neither am I a wolf.
Everybody seems so angry.
I think we can both agree, Mowgli, that you are something the jungle has never seen before.
And that's our boy Mowgli. Is there anything more? Nope. Okay. We'll just put it... There we go. Right over here. Yes, this is Mowgli. Which is going to be the Jungle Book adaptation from Warner Brothers that is going to be a lot more true to the Rudyard Kipling story than Disney. And I think through this trailer, you can obviously tell that this is, like, that's kind of the main selling point right over here, is that they're going to be a lot more serious with this adaptation. And I guess you could say in a way that they're kind of giving the Jungle Book the DC Extended Universe treatment, where they're trying to make it a lot more serious. And like you could even see at one point, like when you see Shere Khan looking down at Mowgli, it's almost like, "Tell me, man cub, do you bleed?" But yeah, honestly, I will say that, you know, my first impressions of this, it definitely does look pretty interesting. You know, as much as I really do like the original 1967 animated film and the 2016 movie, I will say, was massively impressive. In fact, I would definitely say that a lot of people would agree that it's definitely so far the best Disney live action remake that they have done. Like, definitely the closest to the quality of the original animated film that it presented. And but with this one, it definitely does seem pretty interesting, though, that we are going to get a version that is a lot more closer to the original Jungle Book story. I have read the original story, and yeah, I was pretty shocked myself how it was completely different to how the Disney movie is, especially when you get into the other stories. Like, one thing that shocked me the most, to be honest, is the fact that it is an anthology series. It was honestly like, we were getting to the parts, it's like, what the fridge is a Rikki Tikki Tavi? What the fridge is a White Seal? Where the fridge is Mowgli? You know, I was just like lost and confused in the middle of it. It's like, are we done with Mowgli? Like, what happened? Okay, but anyways, going back into Mowgli, I was actually really impressed with how it looks. It does look pretty cool, and I will say one thing that I was actually quite one thing that I will give this over the 2016 movie is actually the fact that we are seeing a lot more live action bits. Like, we are going to see a lot more real, like, more settings, more people that are actually going to be there. Where, unlike the 2016 film, yeah, it looks amazing, but literally the only live action thing that's there is just Mowgli, and that's it. Everything else was computer animated or computer generated. It's all pretty much CG, where people have made massive debates over the fact if the 2016 Jungle Book film would actually count as an animated film or not. But yeah, basically, oh wait, did someone, hold on, there's one interesting comment that I see, yeah. Yeah, the 2016 Disney version is the grown-up version. No, this is no, you could tell that they are advertising this as the grown-up version. Like, this is gonna be a lot more serious on here. Yeah, Shere Khan is gonna haunt your nightmares. Yeah, you could tell, yeah, like, that's one big thing that you could see here, is that nobody is happy. Nobody is having fun. Like, everything is, like, full on serious here. And but there is one thing that I will say, though, that I will criticize it a little bit, is that in terms of the visuals, Yeah, I'm sorry if I make this comparison, but it doesn't look as good as the 2016 film. And I will give you a reason why. I'll just try to back it up a little bit because there's this one section that I want to emphasize. Yeah. Okay, look at this wolf right over here. Don't you, or maybe this is the hyena or something like that. But, or let's just say right now, this is the wolf. Okay, now, you may notice that there's just something a little bit off with how this character looks. And to emphasize this, let's go and have an example. I actually found this picture. Here we have Akela from the 2016 Jungle Book movie. And you can see this guy right here. This looks like a really prominent wolf. You know, pretty good looking, you know, strong, you know, taking his ground. He looks serious. And you see here, this looks like a wolf. But then, you go here, this looks like a computer-generated furry suit. It's just something, it just really looks off. And honestly, I would say it's actually regarding, hyenas are supposed to be in Africa, not India. Well, if you're not happy with that, don't blame the movie. Blame Rudyard Kipling for that. But anyways, as I was saying, honestly, my biggest issue, I think it's in the eyes. You could see that it looks way too human right over here, where, like, it looks like an anthropomorphic animal more than anything. Yeah, it's really uncanny. Where, like, you see here, let's do that difference again. Okay, Jungle Book, Mowgli. Jungle Book, Mowgli. This looks like a wolf. Maybe this could get a pass if they're doing a live-action remake of Zootopia. But there is a reason why it does look like this, though. There is actually an explanation, and that is actually because of the medium that they are using in order to bring these animals to life. Because if you guys don't know, the thing is, Mowgli is actually done with motion capture. That's how they went and create their characters. That's how they went and bring these animals to life. Especially the fact that this is actually from Andy Serkis. Now, you guys probably know Andy Serkis as the master of motion capture. He has done a lot of some of the most memorable motion capture performances in cinema. Rather it be as Caesar in the recent Planet of the Apes films, he did Captain Haddock in The Adventures of Tintin, he recently played Snoke in the Star Wars movies, and of course, we all know him as Gollum from Lord of the Rings. And not only is he going to be a director here, but he's also playing Baloo. And that's kind of like his technique. That's what he wants to do. And this has been in production for so long. It was something that he really wants to try and create to go. Yeah, and also, okay, yeah, and some people also mention, yes, he also did King Kong as well. That is true. Thank you for bringing that up. He did King Kong in the 2005 Peter Jackson film. But looking into this, like, you could see how he really wants to try and create these animals, trying to use motion capture and really use it as an art form to really bring these characters to life. But it does bring up this weird uncanny valley where you got these animals and somehow they end up with these human eyes. And another great example of this, sorry to bring back your nightmares, but we have to return to Shere Khan here. Like, you guys notice how his eyes are kind of weird looking? Like, they're really slanted. They're so far apart from each other. Yeah, you see, it kind of looks weird. But the thing is, the reason why it looks weird is because there's only one other guy that has these eyes that are, like, really slanted and so far apart from each other. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, you can obviously tell this is him right over here. And then, I don't know if, I know they cut it so quick, like, that cut was so quick, but I just want to see if I can get it there again, but, hold on. Yeah. Okay, yeah, like, you got Baloo here, and, like, I can already tell, like, looking at this, like, this guy's got monkey eyes. Like, honestly, I can't really get my mind off of, like, honestly, I'm a huge fan of the recent Planet of the Apes trilogy. They are absolutely phenomenal. Like, for God's sakes, you got this bear, but why do you have Caesar's eyes right over here? Like, are you are you gonna protect your tribe and try to protect the, like, is your man cub Mowgli, or is it Koba? No, not Koba, but it's like, is your man cub Mowgli, or is it Nova? Like, that's all I'm asking. So yeah, it is a little bit weird that you are using CG, like you're using motion capture in order to make animals, and it does seem a little bit weird. I mean, it does work out when you're trying to be an ape, like that can work, or when you're trying to be an animated character, like in The Adventures of Tintin, that can work, but like you're trying to be realistic animals, and I mean, like, yeah, like, you could be an ape because, like, there is a connection between humans and apes, but, like, when you're trying to be a bear, when you're trying to be a snake, when you're trying to be a tiger, like, I don't know, it just doesn't work out as well. But I will say, though, other than that, that's just more of a comparison to The Jungle Book. And other than that, I will say that the CGI does look amazing. This is a very impressive looking movie, other than the weird motion capture. But I will say, this definitely is a movie that has a lot of promise. And honestly, I would be pretty interested to see how this film is going to roll out. I'm gonna go into the chat wall right now, and I want to know from you guys, do you have any comments? Do you have any concerns? Do you have anything to say related to to Mowgli? Like, what do you think? Are you excited for it, or do you think you would rather have just the 2016 Jungle Book movie and that's it? Let me know. What do you think? What do you guys think about it? Actually, here, let me just put up more attractive here. I'm just gonna go back to Mowgli if you guys are too freaked out by Caesar Bear. Anyways, oh boy, oh wow. Do you think the casting is good? Yeah, definitely. For me, I feel like this, just like The Jungle Book, coincidentally enough, we do have an all-star cast, and we do have a very promising cast. Yeah, it shows right over here. Like, you got, Christian Bale, you got Cate Blanchett, you got Benedict Cumberbatch, you got Andy Serkis, you got all these people, and they do show a lot of promise in terms of their acting. I think, honestly, the acting will be top-notch in here. So that's honestly something that I feel like could actually turn out pretty good. It would be funny if this movie won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects like The Jungle Book. Yeah, it would. It would. There would be so many coincidences. And honestly, while I was talking, I definitely noticed that a lot of people mentioned about Doug Walker, especially how he heavily criticized The Jungle Book. Yeah, pretty much treating it like his former contributors. What? Anyways, do you think that this film would flop? Honestly, I don't. It's hard to say. Honestly, I feel like if this gets some critical praise, like if the critics love it, then I think at that point it will be a hit. If it doesn't turn out to be a great film, then yeah, it's definitely going to flop. Let's see. Shere Khan's eyes aren't naturally green. He just keeps hold of the time stone. Yeah, I see your little Avengers reference right there. Or is it an Avengers reference? Yeah, it's an Avengers reference. All right, but anyhow, yeah. Anyways, the release date right over here, it says it's going to be, yeah, in late October. It's going to be on October 19th. So that's usually another dead month along with January. But if Mowgli plays its cards right, and if Venom turns out to be a massive piece of crap that would flop, then I think Mowgli could actually go and turn out to be okay. So, honestly, I will say, though, from this trailer, I think it did bring out a pretty good first impression where, yeah, it's not going to look as marvelous as the Disney movie, the 2016 Disney movie, but Yeah, it's Halloween. Yeah, basically, yeah, you're right. It is Halloween month. Yeah, so if you want to get some scares, if you want to get freaked out by Shere Khan or Ka or Baloo or Bagheera and stuff like that, yeah, this could be a good Halloween movie. It's like, hey kids, you want to see another Jungle Book movie? Well, time to get some scares. Ah! Alright, but anyways, yeah, so this movie is going to be coming out on October 19th. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this is going to come out. But yeah, I am pretty optimistic about it. Am I as optimistic as the Winnie the Pooh one? I don't know. Like, maybe a little bit. But I guess we'll go and have to wait and see. All right. So, JF, please have patience, for God's sakes. All right, let me just do my intro. All right, so anyways, now we are up to the grand finale. So, for this grand finale, it's also going to be a bit of a bonus miscellaneous as well, because this is not necessarily based on an animated project, but I'm going to be very honest, this was something that I just had to talk about it, because this is not necessarily on the cartoon, but this really does emphasize on the crazy. Because this thing is just too insane to not talk about. And if you may notice on Twitch right now, I didn't really title the episode. Well, that is because it is actually related to this right over here. And before I continue, I really want to ask you guys, who here, and please be honest, alright? This is not a time to be shy or anything like that. Raise your hand if you have seen Show Dogs anytime this week. Come on, be honest. I want to see a raise of hand. Did anybody has seen Show Dogs? I honestly, I did not yet, but maybe I will eventually. Like, if it really is that insane, then I might consider it for... oh my god, we actually did... oh, wow. Okay, so we do have... well, we do have one person. Okay, one person has actually seen Show Dogs. Then you can confirm to me that this has legit happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for probably one of the craziest movie news stories that you will hear this year. Show Dogs is getting recut after complaints it grooms children for abuse. I wish I was making this up. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Show Dogs is, it's actually a new movie that just came out last week, right at the same time as Deadpool 2. And if you don't know what this movie is about, basically, with Show Dogs, imagine if you take Cats vs. Dogs, and you give it the plot of miscongeniality, and the quality is as stupid as 9 Lives. That's basically Show Dogs. Oh, and plus the fact that it is directed by Hollywood legend Raja Gosnell, the same man who has given us such classics as The Smurfs and Scooby-Doo. Yes, those live-action films. So it's from freaking him. So, what is it with this scene in particular? Alright, so as you can see, I'm taking my source here from Entertainment Weekly, and I wish I was making this up, but here it goes, guys. I'm gonna start off right at the beginning. So this is from an article from Dana Schwartz, so thank you so much for giving us this piece of gold right over here. And Beverly Hills Chihuahua, yes, of course. Okay, here it goes, guys. Let me just read this. Okay. After a number of parenting blogs and the National Center of Sexual Exploitation voiced concern that the film depicts sexual abuse tactics, the kids' film Show Dogs is being re-edited with the scene in question cut. In the film, an undercover police dog named Max has to train to perform in an elite dog show, which involves Max learning to become comfortable with a stranger and an authority figure, a dog show judge, touching his genitals. While Max initially raised objections to the exercise, he is trained to go in his Zen place and ultimately allows the judge to perform an examination. According to a number of concerned critics, the scene is similar to grooming, a practice employed by sexual predators to make their victims comfortable with inappropriate physical touch. So apparently the company that made Show Dogs, Golden Road Entertainment, they actually did let out a statement. They did actually mention about what is going on with this scene in particular. So they have stated, and I quote, "Responding to concerns raised by moviegoers and some specific organizations, Global Road Entertainment has decided to remove 2 scenes from the film Show Dogs that some have deemed not appropriate for children. The company takes these matters very seriously and remain committed to providing quality entertainment for the intended audiences based on the film's rating. We apologize to anybody who feels the original version of Show Dogs set an inappropriate message. The revised version of the film will be available for viewing nationwide starting this weekend." And they also added to any parents who felt the scene sends a message other than a comedic moment in the film with no hidden and ulterior meaning, but respect their right to react any piece of content. So yeah, that's basically the big thing that is going on right over here with Show Dogs, that apparently there is one scene in particular, it shows grooming. Okay, now honestly, let me just start this off by congratulating Global Road Entertainment. They actually took the right initiative. They immediately stepped up and apologized about the situation, and they are taking action to fix up this scene right over here to go and take that part away. Oh yeah, the person who actually seen who has seen Show Dog says, "I honestly didn't care about the dog penis scene because I didn't think it's messed up for kids." Are you sure about that? Because in context, this really does sound pretty messed up. But like I said, yes, I want to congratulate Global Road. They did take the right initiative to apologize, to admit about their little messed up thing, and they actually did take action. So they actually did do the right thing, and they really got some great people doing that. So I really do congratulate them. But still, with this scene in particular, I got so many freaking questions. Like, okay, number one, I want to know what was in the mind of the writers and the directors and the producers when they were making this scene in particular. How is it that there's this, nobody objected to this, that there's this one person that they decided to write the script and they thought, okay, hold on a sec. What would be something that would be funny for kids? What would kids think would be an absolute riot? I got it! Fondling balls! Let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna write a scene where there's a judge that's fondling the balls of Max, and kids are gonna absolutely adore it. Where we will see his reaction to somebody fondling his balls. Apparently that's the new form of comedy. Fondling frickin' balls. And wow, we're already having a campaign right over here. # blame Raja Gosnell. So yeah, apparently everybody seems to be cool with that. Okay, yeah, okay, Chadwell, let me just ask you something. Is fondling balls hilarious? Don't you think that it's so funny to see a dog react to somebody fondling his frickin' balls? Is that not comedy gold right over there? Yeah, wow. Yeah, we already got the # Me Too coming up right over here. Nope, that's sexual harassment. This is bad touch. If handled right. If handled right. Oh, good God. Oh my lord. So yeah, so we got that going on. Nope. Okay, nope. Yeah, okay, we already got the comments going on. Apparently people seem to say no. That's not funny? After the Weinstein effect. Oh god. Okay, so yeah, we got this. Yeah, so this scene right over here, apparently, Number two, and also another big question that I do want to ask regarding this situation right over here. How is it that we ended up with a scene where people have concluded that, yeah, apparently there's a kids movie that's promoting grooming? Like, out of all things, like, as a, honestly, as an online critic myself, like, I've already got my entire fill of, like, grooming controversy, especially after what's been revealed about Justin Carmichael, aka Jew Wario, and that's another story that I'd rather not touch upon because that is honestly seriously messed up. And honestly, looking into this, it's like honestly, I saw the trailer of Show Dogs. Never did I expect that this would be a frickin' controversy that would be this crazy, that we would end up with, like, yeah, there's this one scene where it promotes grooming. What? Like, what the fridge is going on? And I mean, like, we haven't reached, we're still in the first half of 2018. Like, 2018 is still starting. And already, we got 2 kids movies that are doing some really messed up controversies. Like, we started off with Peter Rabbit, which, like, that's just a simple, dumb kids movie about a cartoon rabbit making Looney Tunes shenanigans, and apparently that movie is promoting allergy bullying. And now we got Show Dogs, which is pretty much promoting grooming to show what kids could do to go in their Zen mode when somebody is fondling their balls. It's like, why do you have a scene about fondling balls to begin with? What the fridge, man? Like, why is this a thing? Seriously. Holy crap. Okay, like, I don't know what else to say about this. So do we have any, I'm going to go into the chat wall right over here. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys have any comments? Do you guys have any concerns regarding this recent controversy about Show Dogs, out of all things? And does that make you want to go, yeah, oh my god, that is so, there needs to be a new team behind the MPAA. Yeah, oh my god, yeah. I could see, I could see why Show Dogs is getting more controversy than Peter Rabbit. Yeah, that is true, because technically allergy bullying is one thing, but grooming, on the other hand, technically it is true that it is a lot more messed up than allergy bullying, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, Show Dogs was already messed up enough. I'm guessing in Gosnell's next film, the main character are gonna bust a nut on a cat. Oh my god. Well, honestly, like, honestly, it does make me wonder, like, after what we got with the Peter Rabbit scene and what we got with the Show Dog scene, it does make me wonder what's going to happen in the future. Like, what other weird controversies. You gotta bring up the Double Toasted review. They describe the scene in detail. I have yet to see that review, but I am planning to. Next time when I go to the gym, that's where I usually watch Double Toasted reviews. I'm gonna go and check out, like, I really want to check out that Double Toasted review. I really want to see what Corey and the gang has to say about that. Holy crap. But yeah, like, it does make me wonder, though, like, after what we got with Peter Rabbit and Show Dogs, like, what's going to happen for future kids films? Like, it makes me scared to know, like, what's going to happen, like, when we see, like, yeah, like, I'm guessing that Smallfoot is going to promote suicide. Yeah, it does make me wonder. It's like, what's going to happen in future kids films? Like, what messed up things are we going to see in, like, Hotel Transylvania 3? Or what are we going to see in Smallfoot? Like, what? Honestly, I don't know. Like, oh my god. Like, it's just... Maybe it's got to show Barney the dinosaur and Elmo having sex. Well, that one, okay, we're going to see that in the Happy Time Murders, which currently right now, that's having some controversy because they've pissed off the Sesame Street people. But yeah, like, holy crap, you can tell why I gotta talk about this. Like, this is just insane. Like, holy crap, like, the existence of Show Dogs itself is baffling enough. But the controversy of grooming and the scene fondling balls? Like, what the fridge? That's my question of the, that's the big question of the day. What the fridge? Seriously, You just gotta say that, Matt, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, exactly. Like, holy crap. So, honestly, with all that said and done, after that piece of madness, I think we can call it a day for this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. So, with all that said, I just want to say thank you guys so much for participating, and thank you for everyone in the chat wall for joining me, and thank you for everyone for listening to this crazy episode that we got right over here. So, what other crazy news that we are going to have next week? What else is going to happen? Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But with all that said and done, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes!